The brain has more connections in it than stars in the universe. Let's frame how this could be seen. The glory of the brain is its connectivity, and it might be said that the glory of the universe are its stars. Put like this, there is more glory in us than in all the space in the whole universe. Something to ponder in a small and should be humbled vessel. Oh, what power! One should wonder, what have we been given? It's hard to conceive of something beyond the universe, as it is hard to see the distinction of the mind extended beyond the brain. If the brain holds all these connections, how vast is your mind? Is it in your brain, or does your brain connect to it? Does it take up space? Where are its limits? Are its boundaries physical or conceptual? They must be conceptual, often fuzzy and rarely experienced as solid. The mind is to the brain what the body is to the spirit. Or your brain fights your mind like your soul fights your spirit, evasive and duplicitous, destined to be caged in a war with self. Even the unbeliever struggles to think that we are alone in this universe with all the constellations, which are the heavenly bodies and members of the heavens. We who are Christian understand that we indeed are not alone, but the heavens are home of spiritual realms rife with activity. Spirits that war day and night in a cosmic battle of good versus evil. In that deep space, their war colors the spectrum of reality, where what really exists is present and evident, from God to the angels, through to the principalities and the powers. The carnage, the victory, the defeats tumble down from that spectrum of reality into our realm as a light show, and we are most drawn to be burnt by flames or guided by the brighter light. We float in a spectrum of becoming, where the inhabitants grow influenced to change by what they know. Knowledge is power here, but time fragments what is clearly good versus evil and distorts it into something our minds cannot fully comprehend. And as the mind cannot build an image of what it cannot comprehend, we must gain comprehension by getting understanding. So our goal is not to be led by sight, for we never see the full picture. So we must navigate by faith. But to have real faith, you must have trust. But who is worthy? There is only one, and that is truth. Think in concepts, try to imagine absolutes. Good versus evil is not our fight, but still we must understand how we can stand through the test and the trials of good versus evil, and that is with truth. What is good is beyond us, but reaches out. What is evil is ever present and restless, with an open mouth full of temptations whispered to man's lofty high imagination that floats free in the heavens and triggers his fleshy brain. The brain reacts to stimuli and fires impulses. It loves what it sees as good, but hates what is God. For the very concept of God screams control. For God is the perfect will, but the brain has its own goals, for it has its own laws based on its desires, feelings, and fueled by imaginations. It is easily triggered. It never stops firing. It is tireless. It wearies the mind, too often dragged along for the ride, fooled by the brain. Count how many times your intentions fall down to serve your feelings again and again and again. The mind, the conscious, the I am me is no choir boy, but is the one part of our higher functions that we can actually control, made up of the will and its intentions. Its tools are reason and logic, good tools gone bad, often wasted on rationalizing our perversions, explaining away weaknesses, creating our purpose post-action, or making logic out of feelings, blurring lines, logic made fuzzy, to the point of becoming a futile thing, irrational in all its ways, devoid of objective understanding, but full of subjective explanations. So the mind falls as it is invaded by the brain that never rests, forever mingling thoughts with feelings, intoxicated the I am me. Even meaningless dreams ravage the will and set it on fire for lusts, or makes it burn with worry when it wakes from sleep. Too easily overridden, the power to create in this spectrum of becoming is handed to an imagination filled by sight, inspired by pride, and fueled by brain activity. The I am me is stripped and the intentions pillaged, the mind is left desolate because of the lack of self-control, which stems from the lack of what we know. What can be known should be discovered has been replaced by what can be enjoyed should be stimulated. Eat, drink and make merry. Everything is too deep for a man that is shallow, and a person that is shallow is filled full fast. His overflow is but a drip in the ocean's glass. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. The mind dies slow. Its death often goes unknown by its poor blunted soul. Its final end is a reprobate, the state when it has relinquished all control and is one with the brain's impulse. Every thought accepted, every feeling acted on. The imagination burns with evil from the fiery darts, pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath and sloth. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye and the pride of life. Why have we failed to see and distinguish the members and order ourselves? Why do we not fortify our internal hierarchy instead of watching it fall to be trampled by our impulses prompted by devils? Oh, wretched men are we. Our goal is not to be led by sight, for we never see the full picture. Good versus evil is not our fight, but still we must stand on the will for the truth. Every thought and feeling must be kept under these, but the will of man is sinking sand. This is the first truth that must be known, then understood, and drive us to our knees. Only the truth can lift you up and set you free, so you can stand firm on the rock, the will of God.